Hi there, it's Roy Breton from GardenEquipmentReview.com. Recently I had the privilege of talking with Simon from Predator Stump Grinders. We done a little sort of interview online about the Predator range. I won't say any more here because Simon will come on in a few seconds and talk a bit more about the Predator range and what their machines can offer. Okay, I've got Simon Bradshaw with me today. I actually stump grind. My name's Roy Breton. I've also got a website called GardenEquipmentReview.com. And Simon's kindly came on this afternoon to talk about the Predator brand. So welcome, Simon.
Hi, Roy. Thanks for the invite.
It's good to see you, Simon. The wonders of modern technology, how we can do it from our sort of homes, offices, etc. So I've got a few questions for you here. So I remember seeing the Predator quite a few years ago at Soltex, I think it was. And I remember thinking, really compact machine. This was the 28 or 38, I think, and thinking that the cutter head doesn't look all that on there. But actually, after being an owner of a Predator, I thought actually this cutter head's really good. So that was my first time I saw a Predator. So when did the Predators first sort of come out?
Well, they have been around now for a little while. It's weird because you wouldn't really think it, because some of the machines haven't changed greatly in dimension and spec.
Yeah,
for years really.
Okay.
We've changed a lot there's been a few upgrades and lots of changes and tweaks, but
yeah,
the Predator 28, that was one of the first machines built back in 2003, so nearly 20 years ago now.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Alongside the Predator 50.
Right.
So those two machines were designed back in 2003. Took about a year, I would say, to come up with two prototypes.
Yeah.
And into production. And then from that point onwards, we've made tweaks and adjustments.
Yeah.
Engine on the 50 has changed. There's no swing out Perspex screen anymore on the 50.
That's all changed.
Which they used to be on the manual version. And now you have the luxury of the radio control.
Yeah.
So the first one was the 28. That's been around for quite a long time.
Yeah.
As has the 50 as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you actually answered this question. My question was going to be, how long did it take to build the first Predator? But you said about a year.
Yes, that's right. So it's about a year from design through to production.
Yeah.
And really, the reason for that is because the founders of Predator were already working in the tree care industry. So they were running companies, tree surgery companies, and they were already offering stump removal to their clients, much like our customers are.
Yeah.
So they were familiar with using lots of different types of stump grinders, big ones, small ones. And the biggest issue for them was, as it is now for our customers, even for customers in general at the moment, is access.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they were very familiar from an end user's point of view as to what really should be changed with machinery. So they wanted to take the wide machinery that they'd already been using and reduce it while still keeping performance.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was about a year. They knew what they wanted to do. They knew how they wanted to change the machinery. And a year, got the prototypes set up. And it was all just sort of tweaking and upgrades really from there. Maybe 20 years ago.
That's amazing. I remember because when I first started stump grinding, I started with the American machines, the good well-built machines. But the problem was getting them in people's garden. And in fact, my smallest machine, which is a pedestrian machine, was actually wider than my present Predator, which goes down to 26 inches, which is like remarkable when it comes to going through garden gates, etc. Which is probably the main reason I brought it, really, because of that, just the ability to get through narrow gates. And so often I find myself almost up to the limits, and you think, if I had anything any bigger, there'd be a lot of jobs I wouldn't be doing. So that was probably really what sold me the Predator 38, if you know what I mean.
Did you find that if the machine was like an extra inch wider here or there, would would that have been a problem for some of your contracts?
Yeah, many times, because many times I'm kind of like right up to the limit. Just last week I was using it, and there wasn't much room to spare each side. So although we think of a standard garden gate of 30 inches, which is often the case, but often this gate's even smaller, or there's that drain pipe or something, or drain cover or something where you just can't quite get past. So the narrower the better. So but that it really is a big plus point. So where do we get to? So where's the Predator made? I know it's designed by British tree surgeons, but it's produced in Czech Republic, is it? Or
Czech Republic, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So the track machines were originally designed here, designed and built here in the UK.
Yeah.
And then I believe about 15 years ago, it's been about 15 years, there's a factory in the Czech Republic, very well resourced, award-winning factory that's got one of the oldest cola dealers actually in Europe.
Oh, right.
And they started building them out there. They can produce certainly a lot more than we could have produced in the UK.
Yeah.
And to a very good standard. And they're shipped from Czech over to the UK. And it's been like that, for about 15 years.
So did you make them here prior to that in the UK?
Yeah, so the old machines, the 50s used to be manual. There used to be a manual 50, and the 28s back then they were actually called the 26 because they were 26 wide.
Yes. Oh, right.
They were built here in the UK in a facility fairly close to our head office in Henley-on-Thames.
Yeah.
And they were built here for a few years, but no, it's there's only so much. It's quite a niche design, stump grinder.
Very much so.
Quite small. And just making sure that you've got all parts and everything ready for customers. It was far more practical to have a larger facility. So for 15 years or so, they've been doing it now, producing the machines. And any sort of changes that need doing, any upgrades, we work with the factory to get that done. It's been the biggest challenge right now for a lot of manufacturers is actually getting the machines out there. Supply chain at the minute, but
I understand that. Not easy for anyone, I don't think, at the moment. So how many models do you have? And in fact, what I'm going to do, Simon, I'm going to share my screen because I've got your website up, and I think we should see where are we? And the wrong one. I will find it in a second. Yeah, here we are. That's it. So let's have a look at the machines here. So you've got various types from handheld to track models.
Yeah, they vary from portable to tracked.
Yeah. Now, the ones we've really been talking about are really the sort of the 38 and the 56, really, I guess, at the moment. And the others were later additions to the company. Is that right?
Yeah. So the smaller, the Predator 360 was an upgrade to what was the 350.
Okay.
And 350 did not have a central pivot.
No.
So that's what most pedestrian stump grinders are fixed. So they don't have a central pivot. What you need to do is you lock a wheel, and then the whole machine, the weight of the machine is pushed into the stump. You're grinding the stump out. Yeah. And it's quite a fatiguing process. And if you have a central pivot there, it takes away all of that fatigue.
Yes.
Is reduced hugely, and it means the operator can do far larger stumps. Far more productively. So the 360 has a pivot, and
so that sort of pivots like round here where my mouse is waving, doesn't it? So you can just I have actually used this machine, and the pivoting action, I must admit, saves a lot of energy.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So,
you just knock off the wheels, and then you slew the arm left to right. You're not having to move the whole weight of the machine into the stump. It makes a huge difference.
I've had that experience, which drove me to buying a radio remote machine.
Yeah, I bet.
So I know what it's like. Yeah. Okay, Simon. So, what is your best seller? I'll keep this window open for a minute.
So, best seller would be the 360.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the 38X. So they're almost on par, really.
Yeah.
The 360s, it's in my view. I mean, I know I am biased, obviously, but I believe it's the best entry level stump grinder for a company that is just getting into stump grinding, because it's fairly affordable in comparison to alternatives.
What is the price of the 360 roughly, Simon?
So price at the moment is 4,495 plus VAT.
Yeah.
So with the VAT, it's 5,394.
Yep. So it's not silly money for a machine.
No, I mean it does have a lot. There are cheaper. Don't get me wrong. There are stump grinders out there which are going to be cheaper than 4,495 plus VAT, but they won't necessarily have the same features. So the central pivot is probably the most important feature of this machine, as well as the fact that it's so compact. You'll get it into back gardens really easily.
Yes.
The handles will fold over. You can store it away easily. You can transport it. So if in terms of return, if you're buying a stump grinder, your first ever stump grinder, and you're doing a lot of garden jobs, the 360 is going to pay for itself probably quicker than any of the other machines.
I understand that. Yes, I've used that, so I've seen the compactness of it, and it's ideal when you can't get perhaps a bigger machine like this in due to the length of these machines. So so as in the 238s, there's a manual and there's a radio controlled one. Which one do you sell most of?
So weirdly, it's now the 38 RX, which is the radio control, but it always used to be the manual version.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of makes sense, because the manual version is cheaper. It's you don't have a radio control.
Yeah.
But now it's completely the other way. We seem to be supplying a lot more radio control 38s than we are manuals.
Yeah. Now, as you know, I use 38, and I've only, since I had my first radio remote stump grinder in 2005, which wasn't a Predator, but from the radio remote point of view, it's I've used both. It certainly saves. It's just so much more convenient, and the work rate to me is so much better. So the extra money you spend, you actually get back. You get it back when you sell it, and you also get the freedom of standing where you want to stand, which to me is a huge plus point. So
how did you find it using it in gardens, Roy? When if you're doing like back gardens, a lot of people are sometimes worried about the fact that it's a track machine. I often get asked, but what about the size, as in the height or the length? Yeah. How have you found it when you're using it in gardens? Have you found that you can get in easily?
Because of the tracks going down to 26 inches, in general, I can get in. It's just that occasion where perhaps there's perhaps a wall at the end or something, or a shed in the way, so you can't turn. But I'd say I can get in 98% of gardens, if you know what I mean. In jobs I go to, it's very rare that I have to say that I can't get in, if you know what I mean. And like I say, when you see the machine narrowed down, I should have brought up a picture, because I do have some pictures of the stump grinder going through a narrow entrance. I think you probably have on your website somewhere. But do you know where it is, Simon? The pictures are there.
Yes. If you click on that picture, actually, there might be one that you can bring up.
Just can I see one there?
So if you click on there, there's some arrows there, and just scan across the right. Eventually, there should be one with it going through a gateway.
Yeah.
So I think
that's it. There we are.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
through our kitchen, actually.
Oh, is that right? It hardly looks real
into the showroom at the moment.
Yeah,
but anywhere.
No, so that is a big advantage, and I believe it's the narrowest machine on the market, isn't it? In tracked form.
It is
this type, yes, which is a good plus point. So I know it's helped me out a lot of times, because so often I'm right up to the limit when it comes to getting through a gate, and you think if that was an inch wider, I wouldn't have got through. So that would really, to be fair, that was probably why I chose the Predator, because of the width, but also like the cutting head, which we'll come on to in a moment or so. But just as we're going through these pictures, I just noticed now this is, you've on the 38 now, you've changed it, so it's got this dozer blade on, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That was a recent upgrade. We have been asked for quite a while now about the possibility of equipping the 38 with a dozer blade.
Yeah,
and we threw around a lot of ideas as to how to do it, but eventually this is the best setup.
Yeah,
that was come up with. There was one potential idea of putting the blade on the cutter arm,
right,
but it just wouldn't. There's a few safety issues with doing that, and a few potential problems that could happen.
Okay.
So that's a recent upgrade as of about 2 months ago.
And am I right? Yeah. So yes, I was told if I upgraded mine that that would have a dozer blade on, and I believe that dozer blade has increased the depth a bit as well, hasn't it?
It does.
Just means you can tilt the machine slightly.
It does, yes. So what it will do is it raises it, it tilts it enough for you to be able to get an extra 3 to 4 inches.
Yeah, which in stump terms is not bad at all, really.
So, no, it's not. I mean, it's not often your customer will ask you to grind 22 inches deep.
No,
but councils, local authorities like asking the question sometimes. And, sometimes it's good to have that ability if you need to.
Well, it's always better to have something go deeper rather than shallower, because I have noticed some of the machines don't seem to go that deep, and obviously with a track machine and the nature of the machine, you can kind of with everything that builds up underneath it, you can think you're going deeper than you are. So to have that ability to go deeper is always good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So So what is the depth? 18. Oh, here you've got it here. 18 inches, not standard. 22 inches with the dozer blade. So that's pretty good. And recently, you a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, you upgraded to the Kohler EFI against the carburetor, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was using a carburetor one, and then I went to the EFI. And although the carburetor one was fine, had plenty of power, the economy and the response, the difference is amazing.
Yeah, found it usually between comparing the two.
Yeah, well, I would say the fuel consumption would be, I don't want to exaggerate, but probably 30% better. So I normally go out with two. If I'm doing a full day's stump grinding, I go out with 2 jerry cans and a full tank on the machine, and that will last me the whole day if I'm grinding all day, which doesn't actually happen that often. Normally I'm going to sort of several small jobs, but there are occasions when you do a whole day, whereas before I would go out with 3 jerry cans and not have much left. So that gives you an indication of the difference in fuel. And plus the response when you need the power, it's instant, whereas the carburetor model had to think about it a bit.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't have tried it, I wouldn't have believed the difference. But it's amazing what technology does, to be fair. Yeah. I'm to be fair, I quite like the diesel. I've used your diesel machine. I know you don't make that anymore, and I like the economy of diesel, but it's actually quite nice. Although, like I say, I'm a diesel fan, really. It's quite nice to have it quiet, especially when you're in people's gardens. So
the 28 was a little bit louder than the 38. I mean, you've got to give it that. It was
that's right.
And it was an old school engine. They're workhorse. The 28's workhorse machines, but that engine was very loud.
It was loud. Yeah.
I've
used a similar machine with a Deutz engine on, and that was air cooled. I know that was horrendously bad. I must admit it's got quite nice when you're especially if you're in a small garden where the noise seems to sort of penetrate more. It's actually quite, that is quite a plus point, which I wouldn't have really thought of. So where do we get to in this? So we said about the bestseller. Yeah, the multi-chip cutting system. See if we can bring a picture of the blade up while we're on this page. Where can I find a multi-chip?
So I might actually, if you go to...
Oh, is it on the multi-chip here?
Yeah, that will show you a tooth. That will just have a tooth rather than a wheel. But I have got a video somewhere as well.
Okay.
Which I'll probably share.
If probably we'll put it in the link at the end of this video or something.
Yeah, it shows you how to change the tooth.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy to change it.
Yes. Yeah. So as I saw the multi-chip system at a show at Soltex years ago when it was at Windsor, and I thought it didn't look all that. It looked too simple. But since using it, I think the cutting rate for me has been very good. And and another great thing, especially after using finger teeth, is they're so quick to change. Whereas finger teeth used to continually break. And I've read, I don't know if I've had the odd multi-chip tooth, a bit breaks off, but not very little, to be fair. So that is a good plus point. I don't know how other people find it. I know there's sort of other types of teeth about, but and I've also used not on a Predator, but I've forgotten what it's called now. Another popular one, not the green teeth, the other one, but it's certainly for me it works very well.
No, I like it. I like the fact that I like the fact it's so easy to change a tooth.
Yeah,
so you're not having to do what you used to have to do with more old school tooth systems and chop the wheel or take ages undoing.
It did. Yeah, with the finger teeth, it was really painful. You could spend like 2 hours before you went out to do any work, if you know what I mean. Whereas with the multi-chip system, you got 6 teeth on that wheel, and only 2 of them are cut, and the other 4 are clearance. Am I right in saying, Simon?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, actually, it's a lot of people don't necessarily know that you only need to have 2 of those teeth on the wheel sharp.
Yes.
So. Because say, for example, like the machine that you use, Roy, the 38, that has, like you said, it's got 6 teeth. Now,
that's right.
2 out of any multi-tip system will always have 2 teeth that do the bulk of the cutting.
Yeah.
And the rest of the teeth are really just clearing debris. They're making contact with the stump, but they're more or less clearing debris.
Yeah.
So as long as you've got the 2 leading teeth sharp, you're still going to get very high performance out of that wheel.
Yeah.
You really just need to make sure you're changing the leading teeth. It takes a minute to change a tooth with a hex key.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go again. I mean, you can sharpen the teeth if you want to, but I'd just be a bit careful with it if you're doing it yourself, because it can be quite dangerous if it's not done.
I mean, I've tried sharpening, but to be fair, for the cost of a tooth, I'm not really even sure if it's really worth spending the time doing it, if you know what I mean.
It's a lot quicker to move them around on the wheel.
Yes, yeah. No, it's true, actually.
If you have a sharp tooth in the clearer position, you just take that out and put it in the leading position.
Yeah. So I had a problem where the teeth, where I was breaking the bolts. But what I now do is I just with the old I either get a punch or with the old tooth, I just make sure the tooth is banged right home, and you might just get another quarter or a half a turn on the bolt, and it seems to make all the difference. And I just make sure everything's cleaned out thoroughly, and now I don't get bolts breaking. So a simple little tip. I to start with, I didn't know. I was doing them up with a torque wrench, doing it properly, but just sometimes giving it that little bit more, just it ensures that there's no breakages or anything. That's
a good. That's a good tip. And also, don't worry too much about tightening them up like super tight. You don't want to get a bar on it.
Which I've never done. No,
because we do get a lot of people asking us, what should I be tightening it to? It's 55 Newton meters, which if you don't have a torque wrench to hand and you're on site, it's really just using the standard hex key that's supplied with the machine, which is probably about 6 inches in length, and it's just almost hand tight. if they're over tightened, and if the keeper blocks, which are on top of the tooth, if it's not pushed in properly, then as you said, Roy, it may well cause the bolts to shear down the line.
Yeah, which the good thing is if they shear, if you hit something hard, then at least you haven't broken anything else. But bolts is a matter of pence. But so just a tip for anyone who's wondering: just make sure, but before you put the tooth in, everything's clean. Any bits of mud are cleared out, so it gets a good hold, and then I think you won't have any problems, in my experience. So Simon. So the advantage of a Predator, what would you say the biggest advantage is?
So it's compact and high performance. So you've got one machine that does the job of there's multiple machines, really. You don't need to have what you would have in the old days, where you might have to have a small machine that can do all the tight access stuff, and a larger commercial machine, and perhaps a mid-range machine. It kind of takes the place of a mid-range machine and a smaller kind of pedestrian machine. Obviously, you're not always going to get a big 38, for example.
No,
you won't get a 38 everywhere. There's always going to be the occasional.
That's right.
It needs something a bit smaller, but it's the biggest advantages to a Predator is that you'll have something which is very compact, but also very high performance. So it will grind really wide. And if you need to get hold of parts, teeth are usually always next day service. If you need to get hold of teeth, parts, if you need to, you can source a few items locally if required. If you can't get them from us or our dealers, then there are you can source locally. And affordability compared to other machines out there in the same sort of similar category.
No, that's good. It's good. Maintenance. Is there much maintenance on them?
So the best thing with these machines is that you can actually service them yourselves with in regards maintenance. We can either send service packs out to the operators and they can do it themselves, or at a local Predator service center or dealer. The main thing with the maintenance on the machines really starts from keeping the teeth sharp. So as long as you keep the teeth sharp, and then you're reducing vibrations. The cutter wheel is the business end of the machine. So you keep the teeth sharp, grease the bearing when you need to, the head bearing. The rest of the bearings on the machines are generally sealed. So you don't actually have to grease them much at all.
No,
there's not a great deal of sort of daily greasing maintenance.
No.
Predators.
No, to be fair, all I do on the 38 is a couple of pumps in the morning before I go out, and then just blow the air filter out. Which, to be fair, on the 38 doesn't seem to get. I don't know if it's in a better position than what the 28 was, but it doesn't seem to get very dusty. Or it's been, obviously we've had a wetter summer this year, so that makes a difference as well. So okay, so and now, which I think was one of the best things that Predator done, you've got more local dealers, haven't you?
Yes, we've got 25 service centres and dealers. So probably about 4 years ago, we really didn't have this. We didn't have this luxury, really. We had customers in the north, all over the country, and we were servicing them direct. And that's not good for it's not good for the customer, and it's not good for us supplying it. We need to have somebody who's closer to people on their doorstep, so that if there's an issue, or if they need to get hold of parts, or if they want to buy a machine, they can actually go to someone local instead of having to come all the way down to Berkshire to actually see a machine and to buy one or to have it serviced. So there are dealers everywhere now, and there are also service centres where you can take the machine for servicing or to buy parts. Which is handy. No, it's always good. I've owned lots of machines over the years, and good dealer network's good. And I know I've been dealing with Ben Burgess recently, and they've been excellent, to be fair. Very old-fashioned, good company, which is good. So spare parts were sort of covered. So if anyone's interested in one of these machines, where can they see one working? So, couple of options really, depending on where you are in the country. There are a lot of the dealers may have hire fleets as well, so they may well have a 38 or a 360 or a 460 available fairly quickly to come and look at. Demonstrations can be arranged by contacting your closest dealer. So if you navigate to our website, you'll find a tab at the top that says dealer map. Go to that, and then it will show you all our dealers and service centers around the country. You find your closest dealer, or just give us a ring. Our number's on that dealer page. Give us a call, and then we can talk to your closest dealer for you and make arrangements for a demonstration. So it's really as simple as that. Or you can hire one if you'd like to. There's lots of hire companies around the country of Predators. So if you want it a bit longer than a demo, just ask us, tell us where you are, and we'll have a look and see if we can find a hire company which is close to you, so you can take it out for a few days or a week or however long you need.
Good way to get experience with it. And something we haven't really mentioned, the 55 machine. Is it
56?
56. Sorry, I beg your pardon. 56. I mean, which I will bring up if I can find it. To bring up here. Machines, grinders. So this is your largest machine, 55 horsepower, 56 horsepower, I beg your pardon. And I know this is available for hire at Ben Burgess because I've used it. So I guess there's hire centres, other places if people want to try it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's available at as you say, Ben Burgess. They cover East Anglia, East Anglia down to Essex. If you are looking to hire anywhere closer to where we are in Berkshire, there's another hire company literally next door to us actually that has a 56 as well as a range of other Predators on the fleet. This is the latest machine that has been released. It's, that we used to do. I don't know if you ever saw it, Roy, but the 65.
I did see it because I came down to your place one day and you had one standing in your yard. And there's quite something. Is it 65 or 75? Is it?
It's actually there were two. One was a 75, and then there was a slight change in engine. I think in model, and then it became the 65. It used to be 75, 65. But we don't do that machine anymore. It was a Hat's engine that's not available. For that machine. So the 56 sat in the middle of the 50 and the 65. It's got a PTO on the back that you can use for attachments. So if you do site clearance, it's quite handy because you could put a flail or a mulcher on the back of it. You put a winch on the back of it. Pretty much whatever you want.
I believe I saw the mulcher when I came down to your depot, which looked quite a heavy sort of piece of machine really for smashing up. Was it a flail, wasn't it, if I remember rightly?
Yeah, it's a flail mulcher. So it's got swinging hammer teeth. So there's always a lot of controversy about whether or not it's a flail or a mulcher. But it takes out any sort of material between 70 to 100 mil. A lot of fun to use. You put it on the back of that machine and you've just got yourself a radio controlled track mulcher.
Boy's toy.
Whatever you can tip over with it, it will
do it. So that's a useful feature. So for the time being, that's your biggest machine, is it? The 56.
It is.
Any plans to build another 75 or anything like that?
I'd love to see a 100 horsepower engine on a 31 inch frame. And we'll see.
Is it being looked at? Is it being looked at?
Well, everything's always looked at. Always, but we were thinking about that a while ago, and it's really just finding the right application. There's no point in just getting a big engine and then putting it on a frame. It has to fit. It's got, our customers have to be able to get whatever machine it is into a back garden.
I understand that big time. So as for prices, Simon, you say that your small traditional wheeled stump grinder starts for around the 5,000 mark, and they go up to the 55 goes up to
so 50
56 rather 56, I beg your pardon.
56 goes up to, it's 42,995 plus the VAT. So with the VAT it's 51 and a half. There's finance options available through most dealers will have can give you options if you've got a budget or if you need something structured.
Yeah.
The attachments are also available as well from 2,994 including VAT, without engine. So there's if you really are on a budget but you just want something you can carry around with you, then the chainsaw attachment is going to be harder work than a wheel machine.
I've actually let me share the screen again, just because I have used one of these ones. I quite like the idea when you do literally, you're going in a terraced house and it's a bricked garden or something, and you literally cannot get in. So these are the ones you're talking about here. And you got this is the larger one, but the 880 presumably.
Yeah, they're the same. That's for, so if you have a still MS 880 or 881, then the attachment will fit to that one. You have a smaller still engine, like a 660, 661 or a 500i. The 500i on that attachment is great. It's really it's really light, and it just starts straight away. It's a really good little engine. They're both the same price. It's just if you've got an engine, a chainsaw that you don't use much, maybe there's an 880 that you hardly use because it's quite a large bit of kit. You can get that attachment. It fits to it in less than 5 minutes. And you can leave it in your car. You know, you can price up a job and then offer a stump removal as an option if you see an opportunity to offer it.
So which isn't a bad opportunity. I like the idea of just being able to literally walk through someone's house where you can't get a normal machine through and take it in there. However, there is a little bit of effort required physically, I guess, to use that.
I think it's I think it's fair to say that it is going to be more fatiguing than say using a or a control 38. But if the job's worth it, it's probably worth a bit of sweat. If the job's worth it at the end of the day, then the fatigue is probably worth it as well.
It's one of those machines I've been thinking about, and I did have a demonstration with it. And can I justify one or not? But certainly, it would be great to have in the sort of garage to use as and when, if you know what I mean. So that's something to think about anyway. I think that's all the questions I've got for you, Simon. So we can add the links. We're going to upload this video to YouTube, so we can put the links to Predator, etc., the necessaries below, and take it from there. If anyone wants to comment, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment box, and we're here to help. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.